Welcome back. We are going to be making some salsa today. This is a recipe that I've made several times in the past and it's so delicious. And I've always kind of had this thing where I feel like I can only can things that I've grown in my own garden. But I scored this huge box of tomatoes from our Costco. We have this like Costco business center and they had these huge boxes of tomatoes. So I got one of those and I'm going to use it to make salsa. And it's so silly that I always feel like I can only can things that I grow because that totally limits what I'm able to do because I can only grow so much at my house. But I'm going to take you along today and let's make some salsa. Okay, so we have like a Costco business center. It's like Costco on steroids. It's for like restaurants and stuff. And I heard that they had this is like 25 pounds of tomatoes and then this huge thing of red peppers for super affordable. So I went and got some and we are going to make salsa with these. So I'm going to start out by washing all of these, or at least washing the ones that I'm going to use today, and then we'll get started. Okay, so here is everything all washed. This is 15 pounds of tomatoes, so just over half of that box, and all of my peppers and everything ready to go. So I actually just got this food processor on Facebook Marketplace for 20 bucks. Previously, I've like chopped everything by hand or like tried to use my blender, which just, it's not the same. And I don't know how I lived without this. Like, this is beautiful and it took me 7 seconds. Really watering, and I didn't even like chop them. I just kind of like quartered those onions. Okay, seriously, I don't know how I lived without a food processor. This is so fun. Okay, I lied. I actually am gonna use fresh garlic from the garden for this. This one's super wonky. So I just pulled a couple of garlic heads. This one's a little, they're both kind of little, but we'll use these in the salsa and it'll be so yummy. Okay, so I have a pot of boiling water here, and then the next bowl is ice cold water. It's just water with ice cubes, and then have a bowl for my tomato peels and the final one for my peeled tomatoes. So it's kind of just like a process. And what I do is I take the whole tomato and I just mark a little X on the bottom of it and then put it in the boiling water. Some people say you only need to keep them in for like 10 or 15 seconds. I find that like a minute or two works better, otherwise the peels haven't even started coming off, but it definitely depends on the tomatoes. And okay, but you can see that the peel is like already starting to come off on its own. They don't have to be coming off this much, but you'll be able to tell that the peel is just kind of like lifting off the tomato. So you take the hot tomato and put it in the ice cold water, and that stops the process of your tomatoes cooking. We're not actually trying to cook the tomato right now, we're just trying to peel the skin off. So you put it in the ice cold water, it stops the process of cooking, but then it also makes it so that you can actually handle it without burning your fingers off. So I still had this giant container of red peppers, so I thought that I would use it to make some pepper jelly. I love pepper jelly with goat cheese and crackers, and it's really expensive to buy, but it was so easy to make. And it was so much less time consuming than this salsa because there's no peeling involved. It's really just like chopping, cooking all the red peppers till they're soft, and then there's not a whole lot to it. And then with the leftover red peppers that I had, I just threw them all in the food processor, and I'm just freezing these in the freezer, and I can add them to like pastas or soups or whatever dishes that I want throughout the winter. Okay, so here's the final product. It's always so surprising to me how this felt like a million hours of work, and it is quite a few jars, but it's not like a million. So I didn't show the process, but I made just like a really simple tomato sauce just with roasted tomatoes and onions. I can kind of bulk this up with whatever else I want and use it for pasta or whatever. So I have 5 half quarts of that. Then we actually used a few of the salsas right away, but I have 6 half quarts and then 3 pints of this. And I made this really thick. I hate when my salsa is watery, but honestly, I don't think it's gonna be too thick, but I probably could have stopped cooking it a little bit sooner because it's very thick this year. And I would guess that we've used like 2 or 3 pints worth of salsa. I really like to do this in pints just because it's just my husband and I, and then we have a 1-year-old. And I just find that we're able to use this whole thing all at once, and I don't have to like worry about it going bad. But the half quarts are totally fine too. And then the pepper jelly I actually prefer them in half pints, because I really like using these when I'm like hosting, if we're having a Christmas party or even just for Christmas gifts. These are the perfect size for 1 serving for like a party on a charcuterie board, or just like with some goat cheese and some nice crackers. And because this isn't something I use like every single day, it's nice to just have it in the 1 serving size, and then the rest doesn't like live in the fridge. And I hate when things I make go bad. But I have 6 pints. Actually, I think this is a pint too, right? And one of these sells for like $4 or $5, and I made all of these for like, I don't know, a couple dollars. So really excited about these. I love red pepper jelly. So that is it today for salsa and red pepper jelly and all the things. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along, because over the next several weeks I am doing a ton of harvesting in my garden. I'm going to be doing pickled beets. I need to do something with my carrots, with some of my potatoes. I'm going to be doing lots of like curing my root veggies, and a lot of that will be new to me, but I'm going to be sharing the process and just sharing what we are doing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.